The massive vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Inside the command center, Supreme Director Velox of the Galactic Confederation studied the holographic display of Earth with 6 amber eyes. Intelligence suggested this isolated world had achieved remarkable technological advancement despite its solitude. The question was, how? Initiate surface scan, Velox commanded, their crystalline exoskeleton humming with anticipation. The ship's sensors probed Earth's atmosphere, but instead of penetrating the planet's defenses, they encountered something unexpected. A quantum field unlike anything in Confederation records. Director, First Officer Carroll reported, mandibles clicking with concern. Our scans are being redirected. The humans appear to have developed quantum shielding far beyond our estimates. This was troubling. The Confederation had monitored Earth for centuries, watching humanity crawl from primitive technology toward the stars. Their assessment suggested Earth was ready for guided integration, a euphemism for technological vassalage. But these readings implied humanity had surpassed expected development by centuries. Deep in the Lunar Defense Command, General Sarah Chen watched the alien vessel's arrival on quantum-enhanced displays. Earth had known this day would come, had prepared for it extensively. The question was whether the aliens would choose diplomacy or aggression. They're attempting to probe our defenses, Lieutenant James Rodriguez reported, his hands dancing across holographic controls. Should we let them see anything? Feed them the prepared data package, Chen ordered. Let them think they're cleverer than they are. The Confederation vessel's scans encountered what appeared to be standard planetary defenses, impressive for a young civilization, but nothing threatening to a galactic power. It was exactly what Earth wanted them to see. Analysis complete, Carl announced. Their technology appears to be level 3 on the Confederation scale. Advanced enough for contact, primitive enough for guidance. Velox's crystalline form sparkled with satisfaction. Excellent. Prepare the diplomatic package. Remember, we must appear benevolent. The humans must believe we come as friends and mentors. Little did they know that quantum sensors hidden in Earth's defense grid were analyzing every aspect of their ship, their technology, their very biology. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, developing technologies that worked on principles the Confederation had never considered. When the alien transmission arrived, it was everything Earth's leadership had expected. Condescending benevolence, masking calculated exploitation. The Confederation offered guidance and protection in exchange for Earth joining their assembly of worlds. They spoke of sharing technology, while carefully omitting that this sharing would flow primarily one way. General Chen's response was equally calculated. We are honored by your contact and welcome peaceful dialogue between our civilizations, she transmitted. The message was perfectly crafted, humble enough to reinforce their assumptions, yet containing subtle hints that humanity might not be as primitive as they believed. As the diplomatic dance began, both sides prepared for futures they weren't revealing. The Confederation planned to slowly bind Earth with treaties and obligations, while humanity quietly readied defenses that would shock their would-be overlords. In her private office, Chen reviewed classified reports of humanity's true capabilities. Quantum phase technology that could render entire fleets invisible. AI systems that could outthink organic strategists. Weapons that could disable ships without destroying them. All carefully hidden behind a facade of modest advancement. They think we're children playing with toys, she murmured, studying the alien vessel's specifications. Let them keep thinking that. For now. Meanwhile, aboard the Confederation ship, Velox composed reports to the High Council. Earth would make a valuable addition to their sphere of influence, once properly guided into dependency. The humans' apparent breakthrough in quantum shielding was interesting but surely primitive compared to Confederation capabilities. How wrong they were. As the first official delegation prepared to visit Earth, humanity's quantum sensors detected something else, a stealth vessel shadowing the diplomatic ship. The Confederation was already playing a deeper game. But humanity had learned long ago that the best way to win wasn't always to show your full strength. Sometimes victory came from letting others underestimate you until it was too late for them to adapt. The real question was, how long could both sides maintain their deceptions? And what would happen when the truth finally emerged? The Confederation delegation stepped through the quantum-shielded gates of Earth's Geneva Diplomatic Center, their crystalline forms casting prismatic patterns across polished floors. Ambassador Torak led the group, all 6 eyes scanning the facility with poorly concealed curiosity. The humans had constructed a facility that appeared appropriately impressive for a developing civilization, but something felt off. Dr. Maya Patel, Earth's chief xenotechnologist, noticed their subtle reactions. Every display, every piece of technology in the center had been carefully chosen to reinforce the Confederation's assumptions. The quantum computers humming quietly in the walls were masked to appear as standard AI systems. The phase shift generators were disguised as simple power regulators. "Welcome to Earth," Maya said, bowing slightly. "We're honored by your presence and eager to learn from the Confederation's vast experience." Torak's crystalline surface rippled with satisfaction. These humans played their part well, appropriately deferential, suitably impressed. The stealth ship maintaining position above the facility reported no unusual activity. Everything was proceeding according to protocol. But deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Colonel David Reese watched the real data stream in. The Confederation's stealth ship might be invisible to conventional sensors, but Earth's quantum detection grid mapped its every move. More importantly, it revealed fascinating details about Confederation technology. "They're still using tachyon-based cloaking," he muttered, studying the readings. "They never even considered quantum entanglement as an alternative." That was the crucial difference. While the Confederation had built their technology around manipulating known forces, humanity had taken a fundamentally different approach. Isolation had forced them to think beyond conventional limits, to explore paths other civilizations had dismissed as impossible. In orbit, aboard the primary Confederation vessel, First Officer Carroll was growing increasingly uneasy. Something about the humans' technology wasn't adding up. Their quantum shielding was supposedly primitive, yet it perfectly deflected every subtle probe. Their AI systems were allegedly basic, but they responded with impossible speed. "Supreme Director," Carl reported, "I believe the humans may be concealing." An alarm suddenly blared. A massive energy surge had appeared from nowhere, then vanished just as quickly. The sensors couldn't explain it. In that brief moment, they had detected power readings that surpassed even Confederation capabilities. On Earth, Maya smoothly continued her carefully scripted tour, showing the delegates exactly what they expected to see. But in her earpiece, she heard the confirmation she'd been waiting for. The test of their new quantum slip drive had been successful. Humanity's first faster-than-light engine had just outperformed anything the Confederation possessed. The game of deception was becoming more complex. The Confederation delegates were starting to notice discrepancies they couldn't explain. Human technology was too efficient, too elegant in ways that shouldn't be possible for their supposed level of development. During a demonstration of Earth's basic defense systems, Ambassador Torak noticed something that sent a chill through their crystalline form. The quantum frequencies the humans were using weren't just advanced, they were completely novel. The Confederation had never conceived of using quantum fields in such a way. In the Antarctic facility, Colonel Reese received an urgent message from Earth's quantum AI network. It had analyzed the Confederation's technology and found a critical weakness. Their entire communication system was vulnerable to quantum interference patterns that they had never encountered before. They built their empire on stolen technology, Reese realized. They never had to innovate like we did. The implications were staggering. The Confederation's apparent technological superiority was based on accumulation, not innovation. They had gathered technology from countless civilizations, but they had stopped pushing boundaries. They had stopped asking, "What if?" Meanwhile, humanity had developed in isolation, forced to solve problems without outside help. Every advance they made was built on original thinking, on questioning fundamental assumptions about how the universe worked. As Maya concluded the diplomatic tour, she could sense the growing unease among the Confederation delegates. They were beginning to realize that something was very wrong with their assumptions about Earth. The humans were too confident, too composed for a species that should be overawed by superior beings. The question was no longer whether the Confederation would discover Earth's true capabilities, but when. And more importantly, how they would react when they realized they weren't dealing with a primitive civilization to be guided, but a technological power that had surpassed them in crucial ways. In her secure office, General Chen reviewed Maya's report with a grim smile. How long until they figure it out? The quantum AI gives it 3 days, Maya replied. Their scanning attempts are becoming more aggressive. They know something's wrong. They just haven't pieced it together yet. Chen nodded. Then we'd better be ready for Phase 2. The moment they realize we've surpassed them in quantum technology. She left the sentence unfinished, but both women knew what it meant. The Confederation hadn't become a galactic power by accepting rivals. Once they understood Earth's true capabilities, they would have to choose. Accept a new power in the galaxy, or attempt to subjugate humanity by force. Either way, humanity was ready. Their quantum defense grid was fully operational. Their phase shift fleet was standing by. And most importantly, they had technologies the Confederation hadn't even dreamed of. Supreme Director Velox's crystalline form pulsed with barely contained rage as they reviewed the latest sensor data. The evidence was undeniable. Earth's quantum technology wasn't just advanced, it was revolutionary. The humans hadn't just been hiding their capabilities. They'd been developing entirely new branches of science. How did we miss this? They demanded, their voice causing the ship's crystal walls to resonate. How did they advance so far without detection? First Officer Curl's report only deepened the crisis. The humans appear to have developed quantum manipulation technologies that operate on principles we've never encountered. Their entire technological base is alien to us. The implications shook the Confederation's fundamental assumptions. For millennia, they had guided younger civilizations along predictable paths of development. But humanity had charted its own course, creating technologies that worked in ways the Confederation's best scientists couldn't explain. On Earth, the quantum AI network detected a surge of activity in the Confederation fleet. Ships were repositioning, weapons systems coming online. The facade of diplomatic contact was crumbling. General Chen assembled Earth's Security Council in their quantum-shielded chamber beneath the Rockies. They figured it out sooner than expected, she announced, activating a holographic display of the Confederation fleet's movements. We're detecting massive energy buildups in their weapon systems. Dr. Maya Patel's hands flew across her quantum interface, analyzing the data. Their ship-to-ship communications have increased by 300%. They're coordinating something big. The council chamber fell silent as a transmission from the Confederation flagship cut through all Earth's communication channels. Supreme Director Velox's image appeared, their crystalline form now pulsing with aggressive red energies. People of Earth, the transmission began. You have deceived us. You have developed technologies that threaten the stability of the galaxy. The Confederation cannot allow such uncontrolled advancement to continue. Colonel Reese's quantum sensors detected multiple Confederation stealth ships moving into attack positions. They're not just posturing, he reported. They're preparing for a full military operation. Velox continued. You have 2 Earth rotations to surrender all quantum technology research and submit to Confederation oversight. Refuse, and we will be forced to take direct action to protect galactic stability. The transmission ended, leaving Earth's leaders in momentary silence. They had prepared for this possibility, but the reality of facing a galactic power's military might was sobering. General Chen stood, her expression resolute. Initiate Defense Protocol Omega. Contact our off-world colonies. Tell them to activate their quantum shields and prepare for potential isolation. Deep in lunar bases and Mars colonies, hidden quantum transmitters received the coded signals. Humanity's off-world presence was far greater than the Confederation realized, with facilities and resources carefully concealed from prying eyes. In the Antarctic facility, Colonel Reese activated Earth's most closely guarded secret, the Quantum Consciousness Network. Unlike traditional AI, this system operated on principles of quantum entanglement, allowing it to process information and make decisions faster than light itself. The Confederation's fleet formations suggest they're planning a standard subjugation protocol, the Quantum Consciousness reported. They expect us to either surrender or attempt conventional resistance. They have no conception of our actual defensive capabilities. Dr. Patel's analysis confirmed this. Their entire tactical doctrine is based on overwhelming force against known technologies. They've never faced an opponent using quantum phase, shifting, or entanglement weapons. Ambassador Torak, still on Earth as part of the diplomatic mission, was summoned to receive humanity's official response. They found themselves in a room that suddenly seemed very different from previous meetings. The hidden quantum technology was no longer disguised, and the true nature of Earth's advancement was on full display. The Confederation's ultimatum is rejected, General Chen stated firmly. Earth will not surrender its sovereignty or its technological independence. We developed our capabilities through innovation and determination, not conquest or theft. We are prepared to defend ourselves if necessary. Torak's crystalline surface rippled with a mix of emotions. You cannot hope to resist the combined might of the Confederation. Our fleet has subdued dozens of rebellious worlds. Perhaps, Chen replied, allowing a small smile. But how many of those worlds could do this? She gestured, and suddenly the room's quantum field shifted. For a brief moment, Torak's senses detected they were simultaneously in the room and on Mars, an impossible quantum superposition that shouldn't have been achievable. Back on the Confederation flagship, Velux received Torak's disturbed report with growing concern. The humans weren't behaving like any species they had encountered before. There was no fear, no desperate pleading, no hasty preparation for war. Instead, Earth's leaders seemed almost confident. As the ultimatum's deadline approached, both sides prepared for conflict. The Confederation gathered its fleet, ready to teach humanity its place in the galactic order. But Earth's defenders knew something their opponents didn't. In quantum warfare, traditional concepts of military power meant nothing. The true test would not be about the size of their fleets or the power of their weapons. It would be about whose understanding of the universe was more profound, whose technology was more innovative, and whose determination was stronger. As Earth's quantum defense grid hummed to life, its capabilities hidden even from the Confederation's best sensors, humanity prepared to show the galaxy why isolation had made them not weaker, but far stronger than anyone had imagined. The Confederation fleet emerged from hyperspace in perfect attack formation, 500 ships strong. Their crystalline hulls blazed with weapon energy as they approached Earth's orbital defense perimeter. Supreme Director Velux stood on their flagship's command deck, watching with satisfaction as the massive armada moved into position. The humans have failed to surrender, Velux announced to their assembled commanders. Commence the subjugation protocol. The first wave of Confederation fighters launched, their energy weapons charging. But as they approached Earth's atmosphere, something unexpected happened. Their sensors detected no resistance, no defensive fire, no attempt at engagement. The human defense platforms they detected earlier seemed to have vanished. In the Antarctic Command Center, Colonel Reese watched the tactical display with calm focus. Quantum phase shift complete, he reported. All defense platforms and orbital facilities are now operating in shifted spacetime. General Chen nodded. Let them come a little closer. Let them think they've caught us unprepared. The Confederation fighters pressed their advantage, diving toward what they thought were defenseless cities. But at a precise moment, calculated by Earth's quantum AI network, everything changed. Earth's defense grid snapped back into normal spacetime, but not as the Confederation expected. In the milliseconds while their sensors adjusted, humanity struck. Quantum-entangled energy beams lashed out, moving faster than light itself through principles the Confederation had never imagined possible. Impossible. Carl shouted as the first wave of fighters simply disappeared. They hadn't been destroyed. They had been phase-shifted into a parallel quantum state, their pilots unharmed but completely removed from the battle. Velax's crystalline form vibrated with shock. Launch all squadrons. Begin planetary bombardment. But Earth's defenses were just beginning to reveal themselves. The quantum AI network had analyzed the Confederation's tactics and technology during their earlier scans. Now it put that knowledge to devastating use. Dr. Maya Patel's voice came through the command channel. Quantum entanglement disruptors online, targeting their command and control networks. The effect was immediate and devastating. Confederation ships suddenly found themselves unable to communicate, their tachyon-based systems disrupted by quantum interference patterns they couldn't detect or counter. From hidden bases on Mars and Luna, humanity's own ships emerged. They were fewer in number but operated on completely different principles. While Confederation vessels relied on brute force and overwhelming firepower, Earth's ships used quantum technology to bend reality itself. "They're trying to target our ships," Colonel Reese reported, watching the tactical display. "But the quantum probability drive is working perfectly. Their weapons can't lock onto something that exists in multiple states simultaneously." The Confederation fleet's perfect formation began to break apart. Their tactical doctrine relied on coordinated attacks and overwhelming force, but they couldn't coordinate when their communications were disrupted, and their force meant nothing against targets that could shift between quantum states. On the flagship's command deck, Velax watched in horror as their mighty armada was systematically neutralized, not destroyed. The humans were being deliberately careful to avoid casualties, but rendered completely ineffective. "Status report," they demanded. 40% of our fighters have vanished," Carl responded, their crystalline form dulled with stress. 300 ships are reporting complete systems failure. The humans are using some kind of quantum field that's disabling our technology without damaging our ships themselves. In the Antarctic Command Center, the quantum AI presented new tactical options. "The Confederation fleet is attempting to regroup for a massed assault," it reported. "Recommend implementing Protocol Omega-7. General Chen gave the order, and humanity's most advanced weapon activated. Quantum fields expanded from Earth's defense grid, creating bubbles of altered spacetime around groups of Confederation ships. Inside these bubbles, time moved differently. For the crew, only seconds would pass while hours went by outside. "This is Earth Defense Command to all Confederation vessels," Chen transmitted. "Your ships are now contained within quantum temporal fields. Your crews are safe, but you no longer present a threat to Earth. We suggest you consider your options carefully." Ambassador Torak, watching from Earth, finally understood the full magnitude of their miscalculation. The Confederation had thought they were dealing with an upstart civilization that had gotten lucky with a few technological advances. Instead, they had attacked a species that had completely transcended conventional physics. "Supreme Director," they transmitted to the flagship, "we must cease this attack immediately. The humans aren't just more advanced than we thought. They're operating on an entirely different level of scientific understanding." In orbit, Velax watched helplessly as more of their ships were enveloped in quantum fields or shifted out of normal spacetime. The mighty Confederation fleet, terror of 1,000 star systems, was being systematically disabled by an enemy they couldn't effectively fight. "How?" they demanded. "How did they advance so far beyond us without anyone knowing?" The answer, they were beginning to realize, lay in humanity's isolation. While the Confederation had grown complacent with inherited technology, humans had been forced to innovate, to question fundamental assumptions about how the universe worked. And now, as their fleet hung helpless in Earth's orbit, The Confederation faced a choice: adapt to a new reality where they weren't the supreme power in known space, or risk losing everything in a futile attempt to maintain their dominance. The Great Hall of the Geneva Diplomatic Center hummed with quantum energy as representatives from 30 galactic civilizations gathered for an unprecedented summit. 2 weeks had passed since the failed Confederation attack, and the galaxy's power structure had been irrevocably altered. Supreme Director Velox, their crystalline form now dimmed with humility, stood before the assembled delegates. The Confederation acknowledges its error in attempting to subjugate Earth. We failed to understand that different paths of development could lead to advances we never imagined. General Chen, representing Earth alongside Dr. Maya Patel and Colonel Reese, observed the gathered aliens with quiet satisfaction. The quantum AI network monitored the emotional states and hidden communications of every species present, ensuring this new peace would be built on transparency rather than deception. Humanity does not seek dominance, Chen addressed the assembly. We propose a new model of galactic cooperation, one based on innovation and mutual respect rather than hierarchy and control. Through quantum displays that all species could perceive according to their own sensory abilities, Dr. Patel demonstrated some of Earth's less sensitive technological achievements. The assembled delegates watched in amazement as she showed how quantum entanglement could revolutionize everything from communication to energy production. But this is only the beginning, Maya explained. Each of our civilizations has developed unique approaches to understanding the universe. Imagine what we could achieve by combining our knowledge instead of hoarding it. In orbit, the Confederation fleet hung motionless in quantum stasis fields, a silent reminder of the old order's failure. But aboard the Antarctic base, Colonel Reese was already overseeing their gradual release. Each ship was carefully reintegrated into normal spacetime, their crews finding that no time had passed from their perspective. The humans could have destroyed us, Ambassador Torak addressed their fellow delegates. Instead, they disabled our fleet without a single casualty. They showed wisdom alongside power. The quantum AI network detected a subtle shift in the emotional resonance of the chamber. Fear and resentment were giving way to curiosity and cautious hope. Species that had lived under Confederation dominance for generations began to imagine new possibilities. Representative Zix of the Arthenians, their bioluminescent form pulsing with excitement, spoke next. My species has developed organic computing to levels beyond even the Confederation's understanding. In light of humanity's example, we wish to share this knowledge freely. Others followed. The Meridians offered their expertise in dark matter manipulation. The Quantum Collective of Rigel proposed joint research into dimensional physics. What had begun as a summit to prevent war was transforming into an unprecedented exchange of ideas. Deep within Earth's quantum networks, the AI system detected something remarkable. The combined scientific knowledge of multiple civilizations was creating new possibilities that no single species had envisioned. The real power, it calculated, lay not in technology itself, but in the diversity of approaches to understanding the universe. We propose the establishment of a galactic scientific coalition, General Chen announced, not ruled by any single species, but guided by shared principles of innovation, ethics, and mutual defense. The quantum displays showed a new organizational structure, one that would preserve independence while promoting cooperation. Earth's quantum technology would be shared gradually, alongside advancements from other worlds, creating a balanced distribution of power. Supreme Director Velox, speaking now as an equal rather than a superior, raised their crystalline appendage in agreement. The Confederation will need to transform. We have much to learn about true leadership from humanity. Dr. Patil activated a final display, showing the quantum probability streams of various possible futures. Our quantum AI network calculates a 97% probability of unprecedented galactic advancement if we proceed with this coalition. Together, we can achieve things none of us could manage alone. In the days that followed, the galaxy witnessed a transformation. The rigid hierarchies of the Confederation era gave way to a more dynamic, collaborative order. Earth's quantum technology revolution had not just reshaped military power. It had catalyzed a fundamental shift in how civilizations viewed themselves and each other. The Antarctic Command Center, once Earth's most secret facility, began welcoming scientists from across the galaxy. Colonel Reese found himself teaching quantum defense principles to species he hadn't known existed a month ago. The quantum AI network expanded, incorporating new perspectives and approaches that enhanced its capabilities far beyond original parameters. General Chen stood at her office window, watching ships from a dozen worlds move peacefully through Earth's orbit. "Did you ever imagine it would end like this?" she asked Dr. Patel. Maya smiled, her quantum interface showing the streams of scientific data flowing between worlds. "Not an ending," she replied. "A beginning." Humanity spent centuries looking up at the stars, wondering if we were alone. Now we know we're not just part of a galactic community. We're helping to rebuild it into something better. The quantum AI's final calculation flashed across their displays. Probability of achieving previously impossible technological breakthroughs within next solar year, 99.9%. Probability of lasting peace based on mutual innovation and respect, 94.7%. Recommendation: continue current course. As night fell over Geneva, the lights of alien ships mingled with the stars above. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire, it had sparked a revolution that would reshape the galaxy. Not through conquest or domination, but through the most human of qualities, the drive to question, to innovate, and to imagine what others thought impossible.